1 second, please.
You want to look at
Intellectual property and copyright. And please put your hands together for my guest. So I have MC Lively, Tenny, and Deji. You know, MC Lively is an internet sensation, an actor, and superstar. Tenny is a talent manager of many years, and she's the person who you need as a creative to safeguard your ideas and ideals to make money. And Deji is fantastic. I mean, producer of Future Awards, producer of so many of the bigger shows you've seen on the internet and on TV. So let's head straight to the point. We have 3 minutes. And how do you feel this afternoon? Let's start from there.
I mean, I feel great. Such a pleasure to be here. I think that we very quickly don't do a lot of sit-outs for creatives, especially that myself and Anna were talking outside. That when we say creative, I call them Nollywood actors. When the industry has really evolved way past that, so this is stupendously impressive, right? From the CREST team. So thank you guys for having us, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you. Tenny, how do you feel?
I feel good. Thank you for
I feel
having
good,
me.
you know.
I feel good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Malka, how do you feel?
Hungry.
food there outside.
Hungry, don't worry, we have something. We have you covered.
Hungry for success.
Hey! Alright, so I'll start from MC Lively. Right? How do you think creatives can collaborate with others while protecting their intellectual property rights, especially in a world where clamoring collaboration and all of that? So how do you think creatives, across different fields can collaborate and still protect their rights?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I have to say, sitting there, I've been rummaging through my head, thinking about all the things that I'll cram and come and pour when I get on the stage, with regards to copyright. But despite all I thought of, I think that the world has really changed. The world has really evolved in a different way these days. With regards to copyright, it has become a lot easier than it used to be. It has become a lot easier because it's very easy to have a platform. It's very easy to I don't want to use the word patent, but to own something, it's much easier now. You don't have to go through a great deal of processes like it used to be in the past. I mean, if I want to collaborate with Tenny, for instance, I bring an idea, this is what I want us to do. If I'm scared that Tenny will go ahead and do my idea behind my back, it's very easy for me to sharply post my thing on my own. I post it on my own page so that they will know that Nami gets more. But I think the question of Nami Getam is becoming less and less important in this time and age. We are opening ourselves up more to collaborations. In the past, that it used to be very important that you own something outright. Even many of the apps that we use nowadays, Instagram, Facebook, I think even YouTube, they have ways that you can collaborate with people and you don't even need to tag them. All you need to do, I still did a video of sorts this morning where I just tagged my friend, and it's obvious that we collaborated on it. So I think that it has become much easier to collaborate on things. However, don't fall under the impression that you are not big enough to put your name to something or collaborate. I think that no matter how big or small you might think that you are, when you create something, feel free to walk up to anybody and say, let's collaborate on this. And when you collaborate, please make sure that you get your credit for collaboration. I mentioned earlier how Cracks TV used to give her credit. I remember that I worked with Awa severally when she was still a writer. But I remember then that it was a problem for me and my management and many other people that she worked with to actually give writers credit. This is some 6 years ago, thereabouts. But I don't think it's the same anymore. I think that people are more open to giving credit when collaborating. However, it's important to ask because, like Master said, ask and it shall be given unto you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for him. Tenny, so I'm curious to have you share personal experience where intellectual property rights was an issue for you or like your talents. I mean, just share an experience and what was the lesson in it for you?
Okay, so as a talent manager, when I get to work with brands and all of that, many people don't know that for my talents, for example, it's written on the rate card. If you contact my talents for a job or something, we own the right to that. You're only leasing it for a duration of time. So you don't pay me for an Instagram post and I wake up tomorrow and I see the post on TV or I see it on Snapchat advert or you run an advert with my video because you paid me to do a video for your brand because I own the rights to it. So things like that, of course, we've had several cases where we have to check it because a lot of people don't know. You just feel, oh, I paid you to do a video for this brand. Once you get the video, you can do whatever you like with it. So all these things need to be stated during negotiation. It's also documented. And I also like the fact that for the kind of work that I do, I make sure that everything is documented in text so that tomorrow nobody says, oh, you thought, I thought, you thought, I thought. No, there's no need to thought. Everything should be written down properly. And if there's need for a contract, I'm very, very big on contract also. Like
Is there ever no need?
yeah, there's no, because I know a lot of people also, when it comes to content creation, many times it's just vibes. So the structure that I run is not vibes. So that's why I'm a talent manager. For the talents, oh, they are growing to learn that and I teach that and all of that. But as the talents manager or the company, I ensure that all these things are put in checks. Like it talked about collaborating. I've seen so many cases where creatives, the other panel when the dating guy talked about the word collaboration being overflowed, I also agree. There are a lot of times we want to collaborate and I share this idea with you, and tomorrow I see that you do the idea without me. Like, why? And all these things happen. It's easier if maybe we're colleagues that have a certain level of understanding or we are friends. It's easier for me to collaborate with my friend because I know that you're not out to do me dirty. It's a great work we want to do. But if it's business with someone that I'm not really cool with, we sign NDAs. When I write proposals for people and all of that, I make sure that it's documented to just avoid these issues. So yes, it's important.
Thank you. So before I come to the, I want to ask Lively, how does a creative, understand it? So I feel like if you're creative and you're just up and coming, and everybody wants to work with you, you're asking for contracts, you're being too serious, you're trying to be like the boss guy, you might have a lot of problems with collaboration, especially because you're just up and coming. So how does a creative, any creative here saying like a reels maker or something, move from that point where they're just talent or creative to business? And what do they need to understand? Like at what point do they need to understand that, hey, I need to take my craft seriously, turn it into a business and protect this craft? And how do they know that point? Yeah. And what was that point for you?
From the beginning.
From the lawyer time?
It's possible that it's because I am a lawyer.
Okay.
It's very possible that it's because I'm a lawyer, but I remember that it's not like I signed contract or anything, like from the very, very beginning stage. But just maybe putting an order to your affairs, like having a manager, is one of the very key things. Even if I didn't have a manager then, I used to form to people as though I had a manager. I remember the first 50K I collected. Okay, the very first one, I did it front that I had a manager. But about 1-2 months after that, I realized that people address you differently when it feels like they're addressing someone who is speaking for you. However, it has its disadvantages as well. Because Nigerians Nigerians like to go and meet the person and say, "Iwọ ni mo ń bá ṣe." Sorry for my Yoruba. But Nigerians like to see who they are working with and say, "It is you I'm working with, please, can I speak with MC Lively?" I mean, my manager gets this almost all the time. However, that buffer is needed. Even if you still transcend your buffer of your manager and have that personal interaction with a client, the buffer of a manager is needed. At the beginning, it's not necessary to sign contract with every deal or every person that reaches out to you. But if you have just that near buffer of having someone who handles your affairs, it just sort of just raises your level and makes you look a lot more serious. Yeah, so
okay, let me add to that. This is a very interesting question. And I like to break it down for creatives. Until your talent becomes a business, you have no business having a manager. That's the honest truth. Maybe because I grow a system, for example, I lead TT Effect. I've been growing this community for the past 4-5 years, where a lot of people are just getting to know it now because maybe a soft media is now very popular, or a purpose media. But I mean, when these people were growing, there was no spotlight on them. They had no business having a manager at that time. So the management I was doing at that time was community-based because I was growing talent, not a business. Until your talent becomes a full-time business, even if it's a part-time, but until you've taken it serious, you've invested in yourself, you've put value to what you are doing, you have something to offer, then you can now look for a manager or someone that aligns with what you are doing to properly represent you. Because I know that the industry we are in right now, like I said, many times is built on vibes. Everybody wants to talk to you. But I tell my talent this, if I want to book an Ira star, I can never speak to Ira. No matter how small you think she is or how young you think she is, but there's a system in place in media that you have to follow. And that's because she's now a big brand. But if you're a talent that is just starting, you're still trying to find your bearing, trying to get access into some rooms and all, it's okay. But until you build your brand to where the talent has become a business for you, then you can start looking for a talent manager.
Okay, so just to quickly add to that, right, for the sake of it, right, you don't need a manager actually. You never do. What you need is management. And that's two different things. So a manager, represents the individual, the management represents the structure. So what Lively described initially is a structure that he created that despite that he didn't have someone managing him, he had management with what he understood about his brand. And you need management because management is not just about they want to book you, there's a buffer for that. It's that, but also the structure, the paperwork, the time management, the appointment, artist development, which is what you were doing with your community, artist development. There's some talents that are looking for managers. You don't need manager. What you need is development as an artist, right? And in artist development is where beyond, for example, for a musician, beyond trying to develop your voice, trying to develop your skill on stage, I've already mentioned all that, is also understanding how to carry yourself, how to talk, how to respond on social media. These are things a manager will do for you, but having management, having that structure would also help you achieve it, whether by yourself or by somebody else, or by your friend, or by your brother, or whatever. However, the goal is not the manager, and that's the mistake we make in Nigeria. We want to do you know why I am? Talk to my manager. What you want is management to help you structure, not manager, so you can prioritize which one is more important.
Thank you, Deji. Let's put your hands together for them. All right, so Deji, it's 2024, right? And I know you churn out a lot of digital content for brands and all that. What should creators know about copyright? If you had to talk to like you said, 7 years ago, all of these things were not in place. So in 2024, what should a creator know about, especially for content creators, people in the media and that space, what should they know about copyright?
I think like every other industry, the creator economy in Africa and then in Nigeria is finally actualizing itself, right? It's finally becoming, it has already become, I only say finally just for context, but it is now a real profession. Meaning that your goal is to be a professional, not a celebrity. They're two different things. Being a celebrity is a byproduct of being an expert. I mean, you might have a few arguments with some celebrities that you have, but that's not the goal. But the goal is to become a professional. And then becoming a professional, there are different arms of your business, because that's what you become. You instantly become a business, right? In a regular business with a startup, whatever, there is sales, there is customer service, there is, accounting department, there's HR, and you have become that business. So what you want to do is first understand that assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. You want to first study and copyright. A lot of us are on IG. They are just taking down my IG account anyhow. If I ask how many of those people have actually read the Instagram guidelines, maybe you probably haven't. I literally just told one of my staff to do an entire report, and I'm looking through it and I'm shocked at what those guidelines state, and it even makes sense. But your entire career is currently on those platforms, and you've not even taken the time to read those platforms, to read their guidelines. So the first thing you want to do is understand that you're a professional. You want to understand what it takes, what your industry takes, what your industry wants from you, what it desires from you. Especially in the conversation of intellectual property, you want to as much as arm yourself with information. Of course, you want to also talk to a lawyer. It's never too early to bring a lawyer on board for any project and any deal, no matter how small you are, no matter how unblown, whatever it is. It's never too early to carry along a lawyer. It's never too early to begin to trademark your names, your ideas. It's never too early to begin to patent your businesses. It's never too early. So I think I just want to say, 2024, understand that it's okay to assume, but assumption is the lowest form of knowledge, and you are too good to be operating on the lowest form of knowledge.
Thank you. I think Deji sounds like a pastor, yeah. Seems lively, right? If you had to talk to, somebody who is just getting into the industry, right? So I want us to, because the intersection of law and creativity is there, but sometimes it looks like it's not a lot of things people need, because until they get into trouble, most people do not consider copyright infringement or like intellectual property until they are facing a problem, and then so if you had to talk to someone who is just getting into this industry, like what are the first steps, what are the things to look out for, what are the things to do, like, and you say, hey bro, I know you're shining right now, but you need to note this thing. So what would you say somebody who is just getting into that space, into the creator space, should note, should look out for?
All right. I was on a set, I think about 2 weeks ago. It was a YouTube set. I went to play a cameo, and when I was done, I signed like a release form. In the release form, it stated that all the things that I did on the set, I give them the right to do what they want to do with it. I commend that. I also think that it's something that creatives can adopt when they're starting out. But beyond release form, there's one that you also sign that precludes you from using the idea of whatever it is that you discovered on that set on your personal project. Because the way ideas work, you can be on a set today, do something, do it. You go to your house, and be 2 weeks time, you just wake up in the middle of the night. Idea. You don't go know say that the idea where you pick for that set. So you go just say you don't do another person content. But the lines are blurred. Lines are very thin. It's very easy to cross into that line. But it's necessary to take those precautionary measures. When you were speaking earlier, I also remembered, I said it's not necessary to sign like contracts from the beginning. I want to chip this in. Even if you don't sign contract, there's something called guidelines. I remember that the first act that I did was for Fan Milk. I was really excited. They paid me 80K. Yeah, I used to earn 50K before that time. So they paid me 80K. I'm like, this is it. I'm blown. So I didn't ask them. There was no guidelines, no regulations of how many times I would shoot. Do you know I shot that skit 7 times. 7 times. Every time they turned it back. This is not good enough. This is not. And it's a prevalent thing for new creatives. When brands want to work with you and you don't give them any guidelines as to, okay, this is number of times I'm going to shoot this content max, the brand will turn you back 10 times if possible, because after all it's paid. End of the day, you realize that you've used all of that money to shoot that content and you didn't get anything from it. Yes, so it's necessary to put those precautions of guidelines amongst many other things in place.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm going to ask a further question to that. So you're saying that one of the things to note is ask for forms that you have to sign and all of those things, and then it is so in a case where a creative did not have to sign something to say you cannot pop up an idea from the set, is that allowed? Can you pop up an idea like in 2 weeks and something comes to your mind?
Yes. You have no recourse if I didn't sign anything. You have no recourse in court. If sorry, another friend, my left colleague.
My lord, that's sentiment. There's nothing to back that, so that's.
But there's also slightly, there's the fact that if there's proof of the content existing before you existed, maybe from some emails, some idea notes, or if there's too much semblance, you still have a case-ish.
Yes, now we're going to drag out for you.
Yes, it's creativity. That's why we must start.
It's quite subjective.
So I'm going to ask like 3 of you a question, and then we can call it a wrap. With the advent of AI and like digitalization, right? How easy has it become for creatives who cannot afford management or like a structure to protect themselves? Is it smart to cook up a contract on ChatGPT? Is it? What are your thoughts? What is the easiest structure for a creative to protect themselves without having I mean, of course, everybody should consider having like a proper structure, but what is the easiest personal structure? Like he has mentioned signing agreements and all of that, and that's one of it. What's the easiest way for a creative to protect their work?
Okay, the easiest way for creatives, like I always preach, having a structure is very easy. Because if you're a creative because you want to do something, you want to add value, right? You will take it serious. Make sure that from communication, everything is documented. I like documentation so much because the space that we're in is very fast-paced, right? Document everything that you're saying. When I mean document, I'm not saying write a project or one. When I mean document, WhatsApp text is documentation. Emails is documentation. Anything that is in text is what I mean by documentation, so that you have receipts when things come up in future. That's basically it. Also, your manner of approach when you speak to people, make sure that you speak properly. Make sure that when, like there's something that we say in my agency, when brands want to work with a talent and they say be creative, that's too vague. Because when every time they say be creative, when the talent becomes creative and they submit the video, now you have an idea based on that creativity. Then like this, then you start to drag shooting 7, 8 times. It doesn't work for me. I don't allow that for my talent. That's why I ask for scripts and briefs. If you're a company wanting to work with my talent, I would ask you for a brief. That's like a guideline, like you said, on what my creativity should look like. Also, as a talent, when you get that kind of brief, before shooting, I encourage that you send a script. It's easier to correct a script than after putting up a full production for something and you start to get multiple corrections. Like someone like me that talks very fast, it's difficult to edit my video because you can't cut out, I say many things in 1 second, so how do I correct that? I have to reshoot. So make sure that all those things are put in place. For example, if you send a script, like I said, documentation, the brand approved that, then you can't tell me to reshoot because you approved my script and I shot according to my script. So all these things are little things that you can put in place to ensure that your brand is respected and you stay on course during the course of your journey.
All right, thank you. So I think I want to flip the question. So for you, what would you like to be done regarding AI and intellectual property protection regarding your work? I mean, AI? Like, what do you think? What do you think is the next level, especially when AI is coming in? And like,
I think that I mean AI has become our best friend. But one thing for sure, which still kind of answers the question you asked initially is, especially as a new creative, still have a lawyer. It could be your friend who studied law. It could be, don't use it like you can use AI to write brief, AI to write scripts. You can even use AI to write contracts. But don't send the contract without an actual lawyer reading the contract. Like, there's no AUJ, and I think it's especially because as creatives, when you get started, it's as if we start without knowing whether we will succeed. So we just are focused on the art without truly paying attention to the entire structure that stands around it. So I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I just read something recently, and I quickly went to go and premium my ChatGPT. That if your ChatGPT is not premium, all the information on the ideas they are putting on it is also made available to other people. That really freaked me out because that's a lot of ideas on my ChatGPT. But no matter how much you want to use AI, don't take away the place of physical eyes, and take advantage of your many lawyer friends. Don't worry, they don't mind reading that little brief, that little contract.
also because there are a lot of laws that apply to specific.
Yeah, specific
Do you
departments,
understand?
exactly.
In specific nations, specific places that where the contract is signed, that AI might not necessarily expose you to. Yeah, so right. So somebody asked me to ask Lively this question, and I doubt it might not have happened to you being a lawyer, but have you ever lost a big deal because of not overthinking intellectual property? Have you ever been in any case where you know that you could have earned more if you had been more particular in terms of following the books?
Sir, I'm sorry, I don't quite get it.
Okay, have you ever in the course of your work lost, so saying that, oh, this is your content and is now used on CNN, right?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
I'm just saying, have you ever lost something
Because I didn't sign.
because you were not particularly thinking
Yes.
about the, please share.
Yes,
And
yes,
then we can
yes,
call it around.
yes, yes,
Do you want to share?
yes. Yes, I think it was it last year, and my new manager just texted me. I'm always seeing these people advertising this same content on YouTube. I don't even remember the brand. But they used that content on YouTube. I'm not joking. My teeth was still broken. So my teeth was broken until like 2018, I think, when I had it fixed. So imagine using a content when my teeth was broken till like 2022. Insane. Yeah. So because I didn't pay attention, because I'm going to be honest, there's sometimes that you just want to collect that money and japa and go and do something with it. That's why it's very important. It's very important to cross the T's and dot the I's. Yeah, so it's happened to me before.
Thank you so
But it hasn't
much.
happened since.
Thank you. It's been a great time. Thank you. Please put your hands together for them. We've come to the end of this session.